He's an expert in B2B relationships, and he leads the way in discovering more meaningful ways to connect and remain relevant to your customer. He is Alex Teixeira. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Hello, Gene. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. The future of B2B content, market, and lead generation. Wow, what a great topic.
Yes, indeed. It's a fascinating topic.
So, Alex, your theme seems pretty spectacular. Tell us about it.
Awesome. That was the point. We want to understand the value of authentic voice of customer and how to engage customers today in such a noisy business environment. And the purpose is, for me being at Convetit, is to take these learnings to my team so we could better improve our products, improve the customer experience, and just make a overall better platform.
And it helps to have such varied voices on your panel. It looks like you had a fantastic variety of people on this panel.
Yes, we do. We want to engage a diverse group of panelists, and we do have some exciting folks here, really representing, I'd say, three types of perspectives. So one being the CMOs and the heads of marketing. So these are actual practitioners from companies that are leading marketing practices and programs. And you'll see that we'll have a range of folks from, SMB, mid-sized companies, as well as the Fortune 500. Secondly, we have some folks that are consultants. They consult businesses every day on their marketing programs. And then thirdly, we have the PR and marketing agencies, as well as folks from the media that are able to distribute content, build programs for companies, et cetera.
Well, establishing a meaningful relationship with the customer, whether it's B2B or B2C, I would imagine continues to have importance. What did your research show us as an executive summary?
Yes, so we posed a few different questions for this theme. We really wanted to explore what's the need and the value of authentic customer engagement. So our question was, on a scale to 1 to 10, how important is it for CMO offices to create customer engagement through voice of customer and voice of market? Is this a bigger and growing priority? And what we learned is that it is really important. I'd say nearly every person on the panel suggested that it's a 10 out of 10. What we're seeing is a shift to true thought leadership and how important it is for the customer to lead the conversation. We also asked a different question around, how do you activate influencer marketing? Our typical approaches, does it seem promotional, or are there ways to, do this authentically? And there absolutely is. And, an authentic approach can certainly help in establishing a company's brand versus, making it sound more like a sales pitch.
How do you make sure that the influencers don't sound like they're just trying to shill for the company or throw out a bunch of hyperbole? Did you guys discuss that at all?
Yes, we did. So you need to focus the conversation around the customer's problems. What we heard from the panel is that if you try to, say, pitch or position any product or services and make it sound more like a sales pitch, it's not going to attract anybody. In fact, the customer does not care about your products. They care about their problem. And if you could help them, that's a fantastic opportunity.
And I know that, was it Sukanya that was talking about influencers?
A couple of takeaways really came out of this, one being around authenticity. As long as the influencers are not selling the product or service and just aiding in establishing the company's brand, it won't feel like a promotion or a sponsored pitch. And this had worked well for not only her, but others had agreed with her that this was right. Secondly, to Scott's point, is that anything that smells of marketing, even someone positioned as a CMO, is salesy and won't get off or won't get the least bit of media attention.
In terms of press releases and things like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly right.
Great. And I know you also talked about, in key point number 2, somehow engaging the customer and paying attention and letting them lead the conversation.
Right. It was very clear that letting the customer own that conversation is a high priority for, any marketing function of a company. And to Andrea's point is allowing them to lead that conversation, but then amplifying that voice and then using it to reach like-minded audiences. So she ranked that as a 10 out of 10 for CMOs.
Right.
Oh, and then to Thomas's point, he mentioned that 71% of companies who exceed revenue and lead goals have documented personas. And this really just indicates how important it is for teams to understand their customers. And what we're seeing too in, for example, the tech and software industries is that they're verticalizing. You'll see that every silo has been verticalized, where you have your financial services lead, you have your industrials lead, etc. So this is a broader trend that we're seeing in the industry as well.
Wow, 71%. That's really an impressive number and good to know, obviously.
Right.
I know that the panelists were really broad and you had really quite a variety, but tell us about the ones that really stood out to you, that were highly engaged and brought really compelling arguments to the conversation.
The three top participants for this theme was Andrea, who we talked about before, and she leads marketing at a startup company called Smallback. And she's been in creative and strategy marketing for, some time now. So definitely a very credible voice that we have on our panel. Scott Rupp, he is from a PR and marketing background, and he was actually leading public relations for a company called Sage Software. Now is a partner at a PR agency. So definitely, valuable and great perspective. And then Priyanka, she is a consultant for a large company. You may have heard of it, called LinkedIn. And what's great about their business is that LinkedIn has transformed into a media company where a lot of executives are discovering new content through their platform. So definitely a relevant and timely voice to have on our panel.
That's really great. Well, really a compelling panel with some great information. Alex, thanks a lot for taking us through the slides and telling us about the research that was conducted. And I would imagine that this is the beginning, not the end of the conversation.
Correct. Just the beginning. More to come.
All right.
Thanks, Gene.